Hello and welcome. Today, I'm going to do a movie recap regarding a 2008 American science fiction drama film entitled A Day the Earth Stood Still. It is a loose adaptation of the 1951 film of the same name. Warning: spoilers ahead. I hope you enjoy the movie recap. The movie begins in 1928, on an expedition in the snowy Karakoram Mountains of India. A mountaineer encounters a glowing sphere of ice. After breaking away a chunk of ice with his pickaxe, he is blinded by a fierce and ferocious light. He finds himself waking, after a sudden loss of consciousness, with the sphere now gone, and a scar on his hand. Fast forward to the present day. A famed astrobiologist at Princeton University, Professor Helen Benson, played by Jennifer Connelly, goes home to make dinner for her stepson, Jacob, played by Jaden Smith, when she receives an odd phone call, that they are on their way to pick her up. When asked who they are, the United States government pulls in front of her house, and hastily tell her, she is under federal protection, and must leave with them immediately. They arrive at Ft. Linwood in New Jersey, where she is assembled with others in a conference room, and is shown that a large unknown object, with a speed of approximately 1/10 the speed of light, is due to impact Manhattan, in approximately 78 minutes. She is put on a helicopter, along with a group of other scientists, to formulate a survival plan. Just as they brace themselves for impact, all is quiet. Apparently it has slowed down, and is not going to crash. Dr. Benson turns around, to look out the window on the helicopter, just in time to see a large bright sphere approach the ground. It is a spaceship, and it lands very gently in Central Park. A being named Klaatu, played by Keanu Reeves, emerges from the sphere, around which the military has established a perimeter. Just as Dr. Benson is about to shake hands with the being, it is shot. A gigantic robot emerges, emitting a sound that paralyzes humans, and disrupts all electrical systems in New York City. Before the robot can take the being back, it is ordered to shut down by the being. The being is gathered up by the military, and rushed to the military hospital, where the doctors revive the dying being. A surgeon is brought in to remove the bullet. While attempting to remove the bullet, he notices that the being's outer layer is a jelly substance, much like whale blubber, and it begins to fall off on its own. The theory of this is that it is the being's placenta, much like a human baby, and that it was born here on Earth. In 1928, when it landed the first time, the patch of skin removed from the mountaineer's hand was a DNA sample so the being could replicate itself into human form. The being is immediately put into an incubator, while it grows. Time passes, and we see a full-grown human inside the incubator. Once fully grown, and awake, he begins to thrash around in the incubator, and the first person there to speak to him is Dr. Benson. While recovering, he is interviewed by Regina Jackson, the United States Secretary of Defense, and some other doctors. He introduces himself as Klaatu. He informs them that he is a representative of a group of alien races, sent to talk to the world leaders. Jackson laughs at this, and tells him that she is the nearest he is going to get to their president, and to just tell her what he wants. He refuses, so she orders Klaatu instead be sent to a secure location, drugged and interrogated. Dr. Benson volunteers to do the honors of drugging him, but instead injects him with a solution of saline, while whispering to him, "Run." During the polygraph, Klaatu manages to take mind control of the interrogator, and escapes. He makes it as far as a train station, when his bullet wound opens, and he needs Dr. Benson's help. Dr. Benson is at home with Jacob, when she gets the call from the train station, that Klaatu is there asking for her, and she rushes over there with Jacob in the back seat. After leaving the train station, they are pursued by the authorities throughout Newark, New Jersey, and the forested highlands. The presence of the sphere has caused a worldwide panic. The United States military manages to capture the robot from the beginning, whose name is Gord, after it thwarts their attempts to destroy the sphere, using unmanned aerial vehicles that launch missiles. At a McDonald's, Klaatu meets with a Mr. Wu. We learn that he is another alien, who had been assigned by the same group of alien civilizations, to live with the humans for 70 years. Upon learning from him of humanity's destructive tendencies, Klaatu decides that humans shall be exterminated to ensure that the planet with its rare ability to sustain complex life can survive. Mr. Wu decides to stay on Earth, having seen another side to humanity that he loves. Claudio can't see this love, so he orders smaller spheres previously hidden on Earth to begin taking animal species off the planet. This is compared to Noah and his ark, and the flood that destroys the world. Meanwhile, the robot is subjected to experiments in an underground facility in Virginia. It then transforms itself into a swarm of insect-like nanites that begin destroying everything in their path back to Manhattan, including an armored battalion of the US Army. Dr. Benson tries to convince Claudio that the world is not bad and that humans can change the Earth for the better. Still unconvinced, she then takes him to the home of Nobel Prize-winning Professor Barnhart, where they discuss how Claudio's own species went through a drastic evolution to survive its own star's demise. Claudio is convinced by Helen and Jacob that humans can change their ways and are worth saving. However, instead of quietly sleeping in the next room, Jacob calls a 800 hotline and reports where Claudio is. He quickly learns his mistake when Dr. Benson is captured by military personnel and he is left alone with Claudio. As the two of them keep heading towards the sphere. Meanwhile, Regina Jackson realizes that convincing the alien to change its mind might be the only way to ensure the survival of humanity. Helen is allowed to leave, and together with Dr. Michael Granier, they rendezvous with Jacob and Claudio at a cemetery. At the cemetery, Jacob leads Claudio to the place where his father is buried. Jacob begs Claudio to use his powers and bring his father back to life. Claudio is unable to do this. He consoles Jacob by explaining how no one ever truly dies, because the universe has a use for everything. Everything is just transformed into something else. At this moment, Helen and Michael arrive. Helen tells Jacob how much she missed his father, and they share a good cry.
You miss him too? So much.
The scene between the two convinces Claudio to save humanity. Claudio recognizes the other side that Mr. Wu loves about humans. Claudio says he will try to stop it, and they head towards the sphere. Dr. Benson notices something is odd, the way the entire town has been evacuated, and how when after driving through a roadblock, they are not chased by the military vehicles. As they approach the sphere, she yells for Michael to stop the car. Just then, a targeted missile strike, authorized by the president, hits the sphere. It blasts the car into a tree and kills Michael. Just then, the nanobot Cloud arrives. Claudio warns that, even if he manages to stop Gord, there will be a price to the human way of life. There is not enough time to make it to the sphere, so they run towards a footbridge to hide under. But inside, Jacob and Dr. Benson have bloody noses. It is revealed that they have been infected by the nanites and are already starting to die. She pleads with Claudio to save Jacob. But Claudio saves both of them by transferring the infection to his own body. Then sacrifices himself to stop Gord by walking through the nanites to the sphere and touching it. His actions cause the sphere to emit a massive EMP, which destroys Gord, saving humanity, but at the price of Earth's technology, becoming useless and immobile. The movie ends as the sphere is leaving. Jacob realizes that Claudio didn't die. He just merged into the giant sphere. The spheres surrounding Earth leave with the giant sphere. I hope you enjoy another episode of our movie recap. Until next time.